Hi, everyone. We're doing another deeper dive into allergen or not an allergen. And today it's going to be dust mites. So, dust mites, allergen or not an allergen, clearly an allergen. And what's interesting is it's not actually the bite of the arachnid, which is something I learned rather late. It's not from the bite of the mite that actually you get the problems, it's from its waste, the poop of the mite. More specifically, there's like a membrane that surrounds the little pellets, and that's what's irritating. And the thing is, you don't just have to have contact with it because the chitin, the exoskeleton of the mite, is an aeroallergen, so it can be airborne. And we've talked before about airborne contact dermatitis. If you're allergic to fragrance, for example, and you have fragranced candles or aromatherapy and diffusers and stuff, all of that wafting up, or farming lavender, having lavender in the house, that can waft up and cause your hyperpigmentation, because it's also a photoallergen, or your contact allergy. And dust mite, chitin, the exoskeleton, is the same. It can be airborne and cause problems. So it's from contact, it's from touch, right? When you touch your sheets, stuff like that. But it can also be from inhaling dust. Like we see it actually a lot in the clinic when people are, putting away stuff or moving, let's say, or taking stuff out of storage, and you get kind of these dust clouds billowing around you. That can definitely trigger a dust mite allergy reaction. Dust mite allergy is interesting because it kind of crosses over several allergic sort of systems or modalities. Usually it's actually rather cut and dry. Things like pollen, allergic rhinitis, dander, food, for the most part, belongs in an IgE-mediated column, if you will, or with antibodies involved, whereas skin allergies, for the most part, belong in a T-cell mediated, non-IgE mediated, non-antibody involvement category. Dust mite allergy crosses over, and also is a big trigger for eczema or atopic dermatitis, which belongs in this category too. So it definitely is something to look for. If you have tested positive for it in one type of allergy test, you should definitely do the other type of allergy test as well. So IgE and patch. You'd also probably have an immunocap test for DER, I want to say it's DERP1 and DERF1 for cysteine proteases, basically. So all of that will kind of need to be done to confirm your dust mite allergy. And then there are other things to check for, but just your doctor will know, your allergist will know what to look for. Some of these, that if they pop positive, you're going to have cross reactants. And again, your allergist or dermatologist, actually both, will walk you through that. But it can have a cross reaction with other chitins, like from cockroaches and crustaceans. Again, you need the management of the different consultants to make sure you are practicing prevention really, really specifically. And then a further concern is because it's so itchy. It's so itchy. You do tend to have a lot of scratching. And the second you do a lot of scratching, any kind of break in the skin from scratching or just from it being really dry becomes inviting to opportunistic microbes, bacteria. So then you can have a secondary infection, which can really complicate relief and treatment. It's a thing. So really, prevention is so powerful here. That is the name of the game, is prevention. Prevention isn't so simple either, or treatment. Because it does overlap so much. Topical steroids might not be effective. Topical anti-inflammatory steroids, which is usually, it's so interesting when we talk about steroids, right? We try to caution against using it so much because the relief is usually so instant. So people tend to want to use it over and over again, and long-term use can be really dangerous. We have videos and articles about this aplenty because it's such a health risk. What's interesting here is it crosses over so many modalities, syndromes, that topical steroids may not even provide that much relief. And then there's immunological therapies that can be helpful, but that's definitely something, a dust mite allergy is definitely something you need to work on with your dermatologist as well as your allergist, because there's a lot kind of going on there, and you can explore that kind of treatment. In addition to, you can't sort of forego the super important step, which is lifestyle changes and certain cleaning practices that can really help you prevent contact, right? And prevent a reaction. Some things to keep in mind that might help with prevention. They don't like the cold. They really don't. They like temperate and tropical or warmer temperatures. So perhaps in places where you would have the most contact or risk of inhalation, you want to make sure that the temperature is actually quite cool. Turn on the air conditioner, or maybe do like storage and moving and stuff. Try to time it for like the winter when it's colder. And look out for, they'll tend to be in things like pillows and pillowcases, cushions, even on your sofa, linens, possibly towels, anything that you have in storage. So like your linen closet, your winter clothes, if you have them stored during the summer, boxes where you keep stuff in storage. And so you start taking out photos or stuff when you're moving, and all of that can be sort of a nightmare. So you do have to be rather careful. We have a great article on InSkin, vmvinskin.com, specifically on dust mite allergy, that has a list of a lot of helpful tips that you can follow. Tip number 1, laundry. Wash the stuff. Stuff that's too delicate, do sort of a regular wash, maybe not in the washing machine, but then you can try the trick of keeping the item in the freezer overnight to kill dust mites, right? Or if you can't wash them at all, you can do the overnight in the freezer in a plastic bag treatment, because that'll kill them. They don't like the cold. A quick note on laundry, because again, this allergy tends to coexist with a whole bunch of other ones. You might also be asking for trouble if your laundry detergent has fragrance. So pick a fragrance-free, ideally dye-free, preservative-free laundry detergent. We have one called Fawn and Launder. When it's in stock, it's a fabulous choice. If not, you can use Clark Wash or Superwash or Coo and Clean to wash your linens in, stuff that would tend to accumulate dust. Frequent vacuuming is your friend, not just of your floors, definitely carpets. Don't forget the curtains. There are some vacuums that you can actually use on your cushions that are very deep reaching and go in, or your pillowcases. Those are great, especially if they are dust free. Some of them are wet or bagless. They really don't give off plumes of dust. That is a great investment. It's a little pricey, but some of those deep reaching vacuum cleaners really might be life-saving, or at least help you really, really avoid a flare, a reaction. Dusting is obviously important, but you don't want to be using a feather duster because that'll just make stuff move around. You want to use a dust cloth that is slightly moistened, and you can try it to moistening it with tea or even just plain water. But the point is, you don't want that dust sort of up and about and surrounding you. You might want to not use carpets or rugs at all. And try to choose fabric that is more dust resistant. You also might want to consider keeping the AC on. Again, some of the stuff can be a little pricey, but it's really worth it if you want to try to avoid because again, these reactions can be so severely uncomfortable and difficult to stop, like the itch, the real discomfort. So avoidance is a huge deal. Prioritize choosing allergen-free stuff all over, right? That's not just your bedding, your mattress, cushions and clothing and curtains and things like that, but also certainly on your skin. So our products that are allergen-free, really important. If you're using an air conditioner a lot and a dehumidifier, that can cause breaks in the skin, especially if you have atopic dermatitis. Then now we have another problem. So make sure to take care of that barrier. And you're looking at things like an ultra gentle hair and body wash like Coo and Clean or Clark Wash. Same with our conditioner. And then you can do barrier care layering. So you would do, for example, mommy coddling all over lotion or any of our moisturizers, followed by virgin coconut oil, Know It Oil or Oils Well, and then followed by Boo Boo Balm, just to keep the skin hydrated, because we're doing other things here like the dehumidifier in the AC that can really dry out the skin and affect the barrier. And especially if you're doing a lot of that scratching, try the Boo Boo Balm and try Red Better Calm the Heck Down Balm to see if that helps as well. Let's say you do have to move, or you have to take stuff out of storage. Again, try to see if you can do that when it's colder out. If you can't, wear protective stuff. So goggles, maybe even a mask to cover your face, long sleeves. You can apply Stay On Point in the US, or Armada Post-Procedure or Baby, which is a thick barrier cream on purpose to try to prevent contact. And maybe if you have access to extra help, you can kind of divvy up the work. So maybe they can handle stuff that deals with the plumes of the dust, sorting and things like that. And you can handle the taping up and the labeling or the moving of closed boxes. And then you just have less exposure. And after all of that, make sure to take a bath. Wash everything off quickly, immediately after. Don't let it sit there. Wash everything off with your allergen-free VMV products, and then do your layering of the moisturizer and the oil. There you go. I hope that was helpful to try to help manage your dust mite allergy. We've got loads of other allergen or not an allergen blog posts on vmvinskin.com. You can go to the tab allergen or not an allergen, and you can search alphabetically or enter your allergen and get lots of really helpful practical information on how to avoid contact or exposure. If you want to shop our products, you can do so at vmvhypoallergenics.com internationally and in the US, and vmvhypoallergenics.ph in the Philippines. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. If you have any questions, definitely let us know here in the comments on YouTube, but certainly in our websites, on social media. We really pride ourselves on getting back to you and trying to get the best answers possible for your questions. And if you want to ask me something privately, you can do so as well. I'm on Instagram at Laura@VMV. Otherwise, stay safe, take care of each other, and have a skintastic day. Thanks.